you are a very proud Egyptian, as all Egyptians are, of course. Clearly, the Strategic Command Headquarters represents more than a new command center. It reflects a wider shift in how Egypt is strengthening readiness, coordination, and strategic planning at a time when national security depends on speed, integration, and the ability to anticipate future challenges. We continue our special coverage by looking at the political and strategic messages behind today's inauguration. To discuss the wider political and strategic meaning of today's ceremony, we're joined by our host, by Dr. Nariman Mustafa, strategic and political analyst. Dr. Nariman, a very warm welcome to Q News and to this very historic day in the history, of course, of Egypt. From a strategic and political perspective, how do you read today's inauguration and the broader messages in President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's speech and remarks?
Well, I would like to address this glorious day because it's in the follow-up of the match, which is really sending a very good and strong message to the entire world. And I think the timing was really great because you look at the war between the Israel and Iran and the situation in Gaza. So presenting Egypt from the political front as a country that can reach the level of intelligence just as its counterpart in the US and even the Israeli, because they are also known for their good intelligence services. Having the Octagon, which is similar in its name to the Pentagon in the US, having a center where you get 13 strategic centers that includes command, communication, crisis management, integrated, advanced, strategic, also center, data center. 13 centers that actually can handle not just the actual warfare, the prediction of a breach of communication, handles also the internet, also breach over the internet. That can put Egypt in a place that's as the guardian of not just the continent, but also the Egyptian borders as well. Look at the war in Iran. Look at like I said, look at the situation in Gaza. Having this message sent at this time actually sends how to say that a broad line that says in a way that you can't mess with Egypt. Frankly, on the war that's actually happening in Iran and the US, I was more confident that the situation is going to be resolved when our president addressed the American president and was eventually
involved. It is, in short, you want to say that, of course, that we have to appreciate, of course, the role of President Fattah el-Sisi in Egypt in mediation in all of these wars, in the Gaza war and the Iran and US war. President Fattah el-Sisi was always available, and he was always a mediator, a main mediator, actually, between all the parties, and it even took place in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt.
Yeah, but his actions was based on an intelligence that was only available to the Egyptian intelligence. So having a team that can work in that efficiently and all gathered in one place, that actually means more security to Egyptians, not just the people, but also the people of the Middle East itself. Having a center where you can actually, in times of crisis, can actually cease to control this strategic center. It actually helps to protect it from any outside invasion, just in case. And of course, it's not going to happen, but the Israeli ambassador to the United States and the Naftali Bennett, they actually mentioned that they were worried about the actions of the Egyptian army on the border. So I think the timing where with the Egyptian president to choose to send this message is actually very vital, and it tells even to the Israeli counterpart or Israel itself that we are far beyond even the military actions. We are building this center that actually can protect and project more damage than they can actually think of. And it's a very strong message that says that
we're Egypt.
Yeah, we're securing Egypt more than you can imagine. And if this 1973 was something that was very intimidating to them, now think about where we are and what we can do with this center and with this training of the military on the border. So I think it strengthens the security of Egypt, clearly.
The president linked the idea of the new capital to protecting state institutions. How important is that point in understanding why Egypt moved key institutions into a new administrative environment?
Well, I would like to say something that because throughout the beginning of the Arab Spring and all the things that happened afterwards, the military institutions were scattered across Cairo, and that represented more of a threat to the military personnel and the military administration and the military budget. Now he decided to put them all in one place and protect them just in case we have a situation from the inside or have a situation from outside. So I think consolidating all the centers in one place where you can actually protect the infrastructure of the administrative infrastructure in Egypt is a good idea, and it sends the message that even if you can, for some reason, attack us, we can close down this area and start commanding from there on. It's like a control room, but only bigger and has more and works more efficiently.
President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi said the June 30th revolution affirmed that Egypt is ruled only by the will of its people, the Egyptian people. How does this message come?
Are worried when they say the situation in Gaza is, it hasn't been fully resolved. But when they see the IDF is actually talking about Egypt, mentioning Egypt here and there, even in the Haaretz newspaper, and or when they see their preach to Gaza, how far it went, and when they see the escalation between Israel and Iran, and also when the Israeli didn't actually not include Turkey, they included Turkey as well. So I think he's reading the Egyptian street that they are worried. So in order to address this worry, he's sending this message that I'm not just saying I'm securing you, I'm actually taking actions to do it, and I'm building these centers, because having a data center which actually monitors the internet is like making a strong grip on the internet sphere, which is very important because most of the soft actions or soft movements that can manipulate people and move them happens on the internet. So having a data center and a crisis management center that's devoted entirely to secure Egypt from any attack, either through the internet or even an actual attack, is very good. It's like he received the message and he translated it, and he's putting boots on the ground or facts on the ground, telling them that we heard you and we delivered. So I think it's he's good at reading the Egyptian street, like he's always been.
President Fattah el-Sisi stressed that Egypt would continue building and developing despite exceptional challenges. Politically, how important is this message at a time of regional and global uncertainty?
I think during the G7, the president walked in so confidently, and we can see the interactions that Egypt presents a very the only Middle Eastern power actually that was present at the G7, and later and before that, we were the only country that had its own EU Egyptian summit, where Egypt itself received million of euros to actually help building the infrastructure in Egypt, and I think this strengthens Egyptian status as a Middle Eastern world power. Also, Egypt is, it's part of the European neighborhood, European Union neighborhood, where they actually help preventing more immigrants through the Mediterranean Sea. So Egypt is has always been vital, or holds a vital role in protecting Europe and in ensuring stability in the Middle East for the U.S. and also for its neighbors. So this actually only strengthened the message and tell the other, the U.S. and even our enemy, if we ever have one, that you can't mess with Egypt because, like we said, that we didn't just send slogans and headlines. We actually have this octagon where it actually has the 13 centers, and also
plus, of course, the geopolitical location of Egypt.
Yeah,
or the geographic location of Egypt, which makes it very difficult for any other countries to meddle with Egypt.
Exactly. Yeah. And I also listened to the part where he mentioned that this was entirely based on or financed by a company, the El Capital company, which also ensures the Egyptian public that there wasn't any money that was taken from the budget that was specifically for certain like education or health or anything, but it's an entire standalone account that's there to fund the projects in the capital, which also means that he can read the public and he can deliver in a way that assures the public that we are on the right direction and we can sleep safe because he's actually have our best interest at heart.
Exactly, as you mentioned, more than, of course, money, more important is the way they thought and the thinking and, of course, the idea of this entire situation and this entire place being built and the inauguration happening today as we talk. How do you see the link between strategic command, institutional protection, and the concept of a modern state?
Sorry, can you repeat the question again?
Of course. How do you see the link between strategic command, institutional protection, and the concept of a modern state?
As we, as years move by, the concept of modern state has shifted, and it included number one, security, because of the ongoing national crisis and national threats. So, thinking about how, in order for us to address that, we have to think strategically about how we can send this as a message to the West that we can read the conflict in the region. We can read the threats that you might perceive that we are facing, and we can put the strategies and execute them in a way that ensures not just good tourism, because we need economy, and economy is based on tourism and actually investment. And it's very important for a country like Egypt to read the room and implement and implement the strategies in order for us to send the message that this is a secured nation and it's willing to even go above the bar to ensure that you can live here, you can go have a nice time and visit Egypt. And most of all, you can invest money in Egypt. And by investing, we're answering the economic questions, and that would ensure us having a good education, a good health system, and a good infrastructure overall for the Egyptian people. So when we read the atmosphere, or read the room, or be quick at reading everything and then translate them into strategies through our administrative force, I think that we can we can send the good the message that Egypt is a safe nation, and it has a political and economic power as well.
From Aarhus, that was Dr. Nariman Mustafa, strategic and political analyst. Thank you very much for your insights, of course, in-depth analysis, and of course, intellectual and informative knowledge. And thank you very much for joining us here on Q News on this very special day, marking a significant and a glorious, as you mentioned, historic day in the history of Egypt. Now to a closer look at why